Hey everybody, hope you guys are healthy and safe. So this is the iPhone 17 Pro Max. It brings a new design and a new and improved telephoto zoom lens and a much better front-facing camera too. So with these camera improvements, you guys know what I had to do. For the past 72 hours, I've been running around Hong Kong and Bangkok taking over 500 photos already with these two phones side by side in various conditions. So yes, this is one of my usual camera shootouts. So without further ado, let's begin. We'll take a look at the overall hardware first. So luckily for me, it's a little bit easy comparing the two camera systems this year because both phones have 3 lenses. So there's not like a 4th camera complicating matters. And the zoom lens of both of these guys have very similar focal lengths. The iPhone can reach a little bit longer at 100mm. But the Vivo at 85mm, it's still, like once you get between 80 to 100, it's like very similar territory. The other major difference is that the main camera of the Vivo shoots at 35mm, whereas the iPhone shoots at 24mm. But other than that, the sensor size between the main camera in the iPhone and the main camera in the Vivo are actually very similar, 1/1.3 inch roughly. And then for ultra wide, the iPhone's ultra wide got a big upgrade this year to 48mm. But then, of course, that's something that Android Chinese flagships have been giving us for like a few years now. But honestly, after using the iPhone for 3 days, I think the star of the show this year really may be the front-facing camera. It is really damn good. And I'm just going to spoil right now, when it comes to selfies, the iPhone kicks Vivo X200 Ultra's butt. So that's surprising because I think a lot of people would assume Vivo's gonna take this camera shootout pretty handily, but it's actually a little bit closer than you might think. Okay, even though both phones have really good battery life, if you're outside shooting all day, you may still find yourself running out of juice. I have an item from today's video sponsor that will help you. This is the Ugreen MagFlow Magnetic Power Bank. It's a 10,000 mAh portable battery with a built-in USB-C cable and a wireless charging pad. So that's awesome. So that means this one set can charge up to 2 devices minimum. If you want, you can charge a 3rd device because there's a USB-C port here that supports another cable. This pad offers 25-watt Qi2 wireless charging that can top up a 17 Pro Max almost 2 full time. And it can charge the iPhone 17 Pro Max from 0 to 50 in about 37 minutes. If you want to charge a little bit faster, then use the cable. That way you can go from 0 to 50 in about 29 minutes. This charger is compact and meets any battery standard, so you can take it with you anywhere. Ugreen also has this guy, a MagFlow magnetic wireless charger, a compact foldable charging stand that can charge the phone, AirPods, and an Apple Watch at the same time. If you're interested in either of these products, I'll have a link in the description below. Thanks to Ugreen for sponsoring this portion of the video. Okay, you guys know the drill. I have taken like over 500 photos with each phone, and I have curated them into several different categories as usual. We'll start with the main camera. Okay, so for every side-by-side sample, the iPhone's going to be on the left and Vivo's going to be on the right. And as I said earlier, Vivo's main camera shoots at 35mm, whereas the iPhone shoots at 24. So just to match framing, I shot at 1.5x of the iPhone most of the time just to get similar level of framing. I mean, 35mm is better anyway. We'll go into actual size. So we can see that with details, the iPhone actually has a little bit more details because the iPhone outputs photos in 24 megapixels, so it's a larger image than what Vivo outputs. But then we can see that there's a little bit more noise in the iPhone image. It's not too bad. Like both of these shots actually look really good in terms of dynamic range, considering we have light from the outside and we have the lamp right here. Okay, next up, this is my barber. We'll go to main camera. So once again, we can see that my face is a little bit more detailed in the Vivo image than the iPhone image. My face is a little bit softer. And the phones are also a little bit noisy on the iPhone side too. But then we move over to my friend. Yeah, that's the same moving over to my friend the barber. So you really need to pixel peep to see the difference. Otherwise, if you're looking at these two photos side by side like this, they both look really good. And also I want to mention that both of these phones have so many different filters and color picture profiles now. It's very hard to match all of them. So I just tried my best to shoot at the default color. But then, every now and then with the iPhone, I will shoot with the cool rose, and then with Vivo, I will shoot with the classic negative. I think increasingly it's getting very hard to compare main camera samples from phones because they're all very good. Like really, you have to go to telephoto lens to see the difference. Now this is a pretty easy shot in a well-lit coffee shop. You can see that the natural bokeh is a little bit stronger in the Vivo image. Like you can see the background, it's a little bit blurred out compared to the iPhone. That's interesting because both of them have very similar sensor size, 1/1.3 inch. But then when we move to low light conditions, I do notice the iPhone shutter speed is faster because I kept taking pictures side by side of people riding motorcycles and cars, and you can see that in the iPhone image, the subject is less blurry, and the car is further back because the Vivo shutter is slower. Okay, and right here we have a really cute cat. This is in relatively low light conditions. It's outside a bar. And you can see once again, really from afar, they both look really good. But if you pixel peep, go to actual size, the Vivo image is a little bit sharper. I mean, I think this is basically a trend at this point. Considering the iPhone didn't really improve the main camera from last year, I suppose that's not that surprising. Okay, then we have another cute cat, actual size. So you can see the Vivo image is always a little bit sharper and a little bit better at noise reduction. But really, I am nitpicking here because the iPhone camera is more than good enough. Like every one of these shots, you have to zoom in the actual size to see the difference. Otherwise, they look really the same. So yeah, that's the main camera. Vivo wins slightly, but really, the iPhone's main camera is also very, very good. Let's move on to the more exciting test, zoom. So I've separated it into 4x zoom and 8x zoom. Here we have a 4x zoom. Like, look at this. They both look really good. You can see a little bit better background compression in iPhone's image because it's 100mm, it's longer. But Vivo's image has a little bit stronger natural bokeh. Okay, we have another cute cat. So 100mm on the iPhone, 85mm on Vivo. So both of these are a little bit soft and noisy when you zoom into the actual size. But when you back up a little bit, yeah, they both look really good. I think the iPhone's image is probably a little bit more processed. But you see, this is much closer than you would imagine, right? And now we have another cat. Yeah, I like taking pictures of cats a lot. So this is a 4x zoom at night. This is outside a bar. So you can see, even without zooming in, Vivo's image is a little bit sharper right here around the cat, particularly around the mouth. Yeah, it's a little bit more pixelated on the iPhone image. So we have a zoom lens at night. So one thing I noticed is that the iPhone actually does not need night mode as often as Vivo. Vivo will turn on night mode a little bit more easily compared to iPhone. But you can see both these shots here, they look pretty good. Okay, we have a picture of my friend Cody. So the iPhone shot is tighter, 100mm compared to 85 on Vivo. Yeah, you can see the facial hair of my friend a lot better on the Vivo image than on the iPhone. Okay, here's my barber again at 4x. It's the same deal. My face is a little bit more detailed on the Vivo, and you can see the iPhone, it's just cleaner looking in the Vivo shot than on the iPhone shot. It's a little bit noisy. So I just want to say the iPhone has already improved so much, man, because like a couple of years ago, if I compared the Vivo flagship against the iPhone, it was a complete one-sided ass whooping. But at least now, the iPhone's keeping up. And if you don't zoom in the actual size, like all these shots actually look very close. It's not like a few years ago with the iPhone 13 when the iPhone would completely blow out highlights like in almost every shot on neon lights. Okay, we have a security right here, 4x. So low light again. The iPhone's performing really well in low light compared to before. But Vivo is just another level. The face is a little bit sharper, a little bit stronger natural bokeh. So this one I took on a plane in a dark cabin, but his iPad was very bright. So you can see the iPhone's exposure is a little bit better actually. The lights and windows are less blown out. And the iPhone image has a sharper face for once. And this is one of my favorite coffee shop baristas. He's awesome. So you can see the iPhone image is tighter, 100mm. So right here, very close. Actually, might want to give the slight edge to the iPhone. Alright, here's my friend Mr. Yan. Once again, both of these shots look so good. Look at the natural bokeh. This is not portrait mode, but just natural background compression, natural bokeh. So the Vivo is a little bit sharper. Alright, so that is short zoom. Now we'll move on to long zoom, which is 8x. So I took this picture of my barber's shoes from quite far. This is 8x, so on the iPhone, it is an in-sensor crop of the 100mm telephoto, whereas on Vivo, it is a digital crop. It is not an in-sensor crop. So this cat was not cooperating. She kept moving her head, but I finally was able to get the shot. But you can see the iPhone shot, it's a little bit soft and blurry. Oh, the Vivo shot too, actually. Yeah, this cat was not cooperating. Okay, back to my friend Cody 8X. So you can see Vivo's image around the beard has a little bit of artificial sharpening too. That's not necessarily good. Sometimes you might prefer just a little bit softer image like on the iPhone, but both of these look good. Okay, finally we have this good boy right here. I think both shots look really good, but if you zoom in a little bit, you do see the iPhone shot, it's a little bit more processed, just slightly noisier. So the ultra-wide Vivo should win too because Vivo's ultra-wide sensor is significantly larger than the iPhone. The iPhone's ultra-wide sensor, it's like 1 over 2.5, whereas Vivo's ultra-wide sensor is 1 over 1.4. Vivo's ultra-wide sensor is almost like a main camera sensor. So yeah, not surprising, if you zoom into actual size, the Vivo image is sharper. But I've said before, with ultra-wide, you don't really need to pixel peep. Like, nobody takes ultra-wide photos to pixel peep. Like, we just look at these shots side by side, dynamic range, they're perfectly fine. Vivo's ultra-wide is better, for sure, if you pixel peep, but if you post it on Instagram, they look exactly the same. Let's move on to selfies. So the iPhone did a really cool thing this year with the selfie camera. It used a square sensor that allows the iPhone to switch between landscape and portrait orientation, all without needing to turn the phone. And it's an 18 megapixel selfie camera, and it just looks really good. And on top of that, the iPhone has best-in-class microphone, so the iPhone's gonna pick up my voice a little bit better too. So if you do care about selfies, or you do take video calls outside, the iPhone definitely wins over the Vivo right here. Yeah, my face is more detailed, my skin is more accurate, and yeah, the iPhone selfie camera is really good this year. And if you play videos, this is iPhone. Alright, so you're watching front-facing camera, low light, 4K 30. Yeah, I think for the front-facing camera, the iPhone just clearly wins. Alright, so you're watching front-facing camera, low light, 4K 30. Yeah, I think for the front-facing camera, the iPhone just clearly wins. Alright, so you're watching front-facing camera with both phones for now. iPhone right here, Vivo right here, 4K video, front-facing camera. How do I sound? So you're watching front-facing camera with both phones for now. iPhone right here, Vivo right here, 4K video, front-facing camera. How do I sound? Okay, finally we'll look at portraits. I don't really take portrait modes that much because, to be honest, if you have a large sensor telephoto, you want to just shoot with that instead and get natural bokeh. You don't want to use a dedicated portrait mode. The artificial bokeh is just a little bit too strong and fake for my liking. But the edge detection is on point, and I think both phones' portrait modes look very good. I would probably give the slight edge to the iPhone for better edge detection. Okay, finally we'll look at videos from the other cameras. So we'll start with the main camera. So you're watching main camera footage right now with both phones. Switch out to the ultra wide. And we'll go to the zoom lens. So now this is the zoom lens. So now this is the zoom lens. Alright, so you're watching main camera right now with the iPhone and Vivo main camera. We'll go to the zoom lens. So this is the zoom lens now. And we'll go out to the ultra wide camera. So this is the ultra wide. Okay, so overall, if I do have to pick a winner, I still prefer Vivo's camera system more because I shoot with the rear camera more often than the front-facing camera. But there are a lot of people who prioritize the front-facing camera a lot, and for them, the iPhone is the better option. But regardless, even if you care about the rear-facing camera, Vivo's advantage this year is not as large as a couple of years ago. Like a few years ago, if I compared the Vivo X200 Pro Plus against like the iPhone 13, it was one-sided. This year, it's a lot closer. Every image requires pixel peeping just to find out where Vivo wins. Otherwise, if you post on Instagram, they look almost exactly the same. And I think this is where Android brands need to be concerned because iPhone is increasingly catching up in cameras and also customization too. Like for the longest time, I use Android over iOS because I like customization. But now Android, thanks to Google, is increasingly being draconian, whereas iPhone iOS is getting increasingly customizable. So Man, it's a close battle this year, man. But the best camera on the market right now is still the Vivo X200 Ultra. But you know, we have a lot more devices coming. So if you're interested in keeping up to date with the latest in consumer tech, please consider subscribing to my channel. It would help me a lot. And thanks to Ugreen for sponsoring that segment in this video. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.